with no name. You know what I'm saying? With no name as far as we don't know who they are. So after we give them the deal, Steve Gottlieb brings me in the office and he goes, Chappy, what's the group's name? So now it's this California group. And for all those who say that the East Coast didn't want other people to rap and rock, that's not true. Main Flow and them's from Ohio. We'll get to that. You know what I'm saying? But now I signed Jurassic 5. Jurassic 5 doesn't have a name. My boss is asking me, well, it's not my boss, Steve Gottlieb's asking me, yo, man, you just signed this group. What's their name? Chappy, tell me their name. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. I got to make a phone call. So I run all the way through the record label, all the way through, and I call Akil. Oh, shit. Yo, what's y'all's name? He was like, damn, we don't have no name. I'm like, y'all ain't got no name. And he goes, wait, we're going to call ourselves Jurassic 5 because Jurassic 5 is what this girl used to call them in a joke. That's how they became Jurassic 5. In 5 minutes, I run back down to Steve's office, to Steve Gottlieb's office, and I go, yo, that's Jurassic 5. And he goes, good, okay, cool. We just signed Jurassic 5. That's how y'all got Unified Revolution or Unified Rebellion and the Jurassic 5. Now people go, well, they were on Interscope. Well, we were distributed by Interscope, y'all. Think about it. TVT, Nine Inch Nails, we had a whole distribution system. We became the largest independent record label in U.S. history. It's not Death Row. They may be the most successful, that's hip hop. But the largest independent record label in U.S. history is TVT. And it's because they're mass distribution through Interscope and in-house distribution. So we had a warehouse in the back with about 10 guys working. So when we got orders from retail stores, we shipped them straight out, right out in the back of the label. You know what I'm saying? There were times we would make $1 million before 12 o'clock midday. Steve would shut the office down, give me like $2,500 in cash and tell me, Chappy, go uptown and get a pound of weed. Yo, TVT was crazy, y'all. We had a ton of fun at TVT, y'all. So those fun things happen, and we signed Jurassic 5, and we're moving, and we doing different things. Mike Geronimo is still got a big buzz. We starting to staff it with great people. Big shout out to all the people who ended up coming to the label. Wanda Snell was a lot of the reason he got on MTV and other things. And having a single, and you're on MTV, and so other people started to see this. It wasn't just because when people looked at TVT records or Blunt records, they really started to see the hard work that maybe some of the people that were working there, I don't get acknowledged for, you know what I'm saying? But the effects of TVT and the way you guys know TVT is not just from Shit's Real, you know it because it was branded and marketed to you, you know what I'm saying? Somehow, it wasn't just a song, it was one single that this brother had. And we brought in people who had great reputations coming from other record labels, coming from other parts of the country. I happen to know those people because we were all close at one time. We were all friends, you know what I'm saying? We were all friends. There was no East Coast, West Coast beef. I was friends with Trevor Williams and those guys who signed Wu-Tang on the West Coast, or, you know what I'm saying? The West Coast Loud, that is, okay? West Coast Loud. We didn't have that type of beef. After that, I get a call from a girl named Makeba Mooncycle. Makeba is the sister of Prodigal Son, okay, from Wu-Tang, okay? I think I have that story right, Makeba. When you see this and I'm wrong, just correct me. But I know she's the sister, and she calls me one day and she says, Chappy, what you doing? I said, I'm up at the label. You know, we got a staff now. Mike Geronimo's #1 on Gavin. He's doing shows. People, he's on MTV. He's doing great things for someone who just has a single. Think about this, y'all. He's got one record. And the label wasn't doing enough. It's really controversial content. That's really controversial conversation. You know what I'm saying? Because we got to have tools in order to blow a record label up, y'all. If you don't have the tools, then you have to have the staff, okay, with the relationships, all right? So now we got a great staff. Other people are seeing it. We blowing up. and Makeba Moon Cycle is down at Raucous Records, and Raucous hasn't dropped anything, but I think like the Lyricist Lounge and stuff like that. They really didn't have no artists. They might have had them other brothers there, I'm not sure. But so she sends Main Flow, Dante, and these cats up to TVT Records, to Blunt, which you could walk right up the block, y'all. It was about 3 or 4 blocks away from Raucous. So they walked up the block, y'all, and I go downstairs. I roll me some, I go downstairs on the elevator, because TVT was a badass record label, y'all. 3 floors, all of that. So I go downstairs. In the building at TVT, we used to see Michael Jordan, y'all. In that building is Studio One, where all the major photographs used to be taken for ESPN, the models. So we would often run upstairs and fuck with the models, and we bumped into Michael Jordan in his prime in that building one time. So that was a quick story. Yeah. I also blew, one day I blew that dude. I'll tell you about that. We'll go back to that. So now I go downstairs and I meet Main Flow.
Pause.
Yeah, because I got so many stories. You're gonna need a part 50. So check this. Check this out.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was gonna tell you.
He didn't. I don't think you caught that, Chappy, man. He was
What he say? Because Main Flow always gonna get jabs.
You said you blew him off, and he was like, "Yo, you gotta pause."
I blew him off. Yeah, Main Flow, your story is unique. All right, I'm gonna give you your story. All right, so I go downstairs, and these dudes are walking up, and I noticed that they're not from New York. They're not dressed like us and shit. They're not dressed like us. And here they come. They got a little style though. Here come Main Flow. He kind of, Dante's a little short. Main Flow is mad tall, and they coming down the street. And I think they had Josh Sun with them, which is one of the producers. And I meet them downstairs, and I hear their song. And they actually have the song already complete, y'all. They have a video, the song, and I signed them dudes right on the street. So all those people who say they don't know who was in charge or who was at Blunt doing work, TVT doing work, I was doing these things. I signed them, the artist is right here. I signed them right on the street, you know what I'm saying? So now we go upstairs, I introduce them, we get everything together, it takes a few months. We fly out to Main Flow and Dante, we fly out to Cincinnati. I think it was Main Flow's house. He's got a whole studio in there working on the album, and I'm listening to the beats, man, and I'm loving these guys. I'm like, man, these guys ain't from New York. So I signed them back when people used to complain that only New York artists got signed. That's not true. You know what I'm saying? That's not the truth. We were always looking for other talent. You just had to have a specific way about you. And that specific way was, if you notice, any artist that got signed from out of state, they made singles that explained their territory. Straight out of Compton, a crazy motherfucker. Yo, you just explained your territory. Main Flow and them explained their territory. Scarface explained his territory. Anybody who got on, Luke, explained what life was like down fucking with Luke. You know what I'm saying? In order to get signed in New York, you had to have content to offer the culture. Not just, yo, I'm fresh, I'm fly, I'm mad dope. Yo, I got bars, son, mad bars. You know what I'm saying? That's not why we signed artists. You had to have a specific sound, sometimes even a nasal flow. All of those things came across perfectly when you were using different wording. And that's what Main Flow and them did very well. They described their city in Cincinnati. Their single explained where they was from, explained their lifestyle. They shot a video which aligned to all of that. So I signed them. That was one of the chemistries that we looked for out-of-state artists. You know what I'm saying? You didn't have to be like New York. You had to be like you. You had to be like you.
At what point, because you just mentioned Cincinnati, right? So at what point did High Tech come into the picture?
High Tech comes into the picture, and this is a great story. So I'm in Cincinnati. We're in Cincinnati, and we fly out to Cincinnati, and I'm staying at the Cincinnati, but we're recording in Main Flow's house. So now we're in Main Flow's crib. We're making it, and I keep hearing these beats, man. I'm like, damn, forget this guy. Who is the guy that's with us, Josh Sun? No disrespect, but forget this dude. All the songs that I like are the songs that I'm like, wow, who is that guy? They'd go, well, that's High Tech. So where is this guy? They say he probably at his house. Take me to his house. So we go, this is exactly how it happened, yo. There is no exaggeration. Yo, I'm not getting nothing from this. I've never made money with any of these artists that I'm mentioning prior. These are just real stories for history to really catch up on with the historian, you know what I'm saying, the journalist and his partner. I'm really giving you this. So I said, let's go. I got on a fresh pair of Timbs, the beef and broccolis, y'all. I get in the car. They take me to this dude's house. And we walk past the fucking house. I'm like, yo, where's we going? This isn't happening. We walking by the house, y'all. We walking by the house. We go to the back of the woods. We start walking in the woods. And in the woods is this little shed. We walk in the woods. I'm scuffing my brain. Now I'm angry at Mood. I stayed mad at Mood all the time. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm mad at Mood because I'm scraping my beef and broccolis up in the woods. You know what I'm saying? Looking for this guy named High Tech, son. So now we go into the woods, man, and it's the shed. And Main Flow opens the door, and little Dante nigga steps up, and I go, and it's dark, and it's like it's something out of the. I don't know where this guy is. There's records everywhere, but it's a dark little shed. And here's little High Tech, y'all. Here's little High Tech. And they introduced me to High Tech. And I'm like, yo, your beats, man, your shit is crazy, man. He got a little setup in there. And we're in a barn similar to a donkey barn. It's like donkey. And I go, yo, pack your shit. We're going to New York. That's how High Tech came to New York, y'all. He was not discovered by Dr. Dre. Obviously, High Tech was already discovered. You know what I'm saying? Now it's not Dr. Dre's fault.
That barn you talking about, that was Beatbox Studios, man.
That shit was horrible.
No, man. You just thought it was a barn just because Cincinnati, how it's structured. You know what I mean? It's in the woods. It feels like it's in the woods, man. And you almost had to pause for calling it a donkey barn. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? They asked for my honest opinion. So that was my first thing. I was like, where are we going? My Timbs is scraped. This dude better be nice as fuck. And he was. He became the High Tech that hip hop knows today. He became the High Tech that, you know, Dr. Dre said that he found and discovered. And we don't blame Dr. Dre for that because it would be up to High Tech to tell the truth about how he's been discovered, which he's never done. So I'm here to tell y'all that he was found in the woods, introduced to me by the group Mood. There was no super story where he was handing out mad mixtapes and he got discovered. He got discovered by the guys who thought they and realized they were good enough to bring themselves to New York and get involved in the competition we call hip hop. That's how he got discovered.
While we have Main Flow on, what do you remember most about Chappy, Main Flow?
He used to roll our blunts for us and carry our bags when we came in town. You know what I'm saying? He was that dude for us. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, nah, man. He telling the story pretty accurate. You know what I mean? Like, just a good dude, good vibe. You know, he ended up being our New York connection. You know what I mean? He was talking about Tech. Tech. He had a group called Rated X. Rated X, and it was with an artist named Vicious Lee. So they used to come to New York and they used to come to like these expos and stuff, you know, shop they demos and everything. So they was pretty high tech, man. Like, I mean, just like his name, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
I linked with them because they lived across the street from me. Vicious Lee's mother had a publishing company, so Tech was signed to her publishing company, and we did a song called "Radio to the Video." Me and Tech, 'cause I met Tech. He was battling Josh Sun when he was like 12 years old at a DJ competition, you know, and you know, we linked after that, and he was destroying Josh Sun at that one. Josh Sun didn't see that one coming. And then we started working with him. I did a song radio to the video, and then I kind of brought him to our crew, man. And then after that, like Chappy was saying, he got to meet him at Beatbox Studios back in the day, and then you know, but yeah, back to the script. Chappy always been a good dude, man. You know what I mean? Hard working, official. You know, he what we liked about him was his backstory working with the boot camp clique. You know what I mean? Because we was big fans of them. So once we knew he was working with them, man, we wanted to definitely work with them.
Let me ask you, why do you think he's rarely mentioned in hip hop history?
Oh, because everybody forget where they always forget where they come. You know, it's just it's part of the evolution of an artist sometimes, man. Like where they once they get to the next level, they don't recognize the level they came from, and they just as they keep climbing, um, they forget about the people that helped them. They kind of erase you out of history, so to speak, because until somebody else brings you up, you know what I mean. And Chappie being around so at the beginning, that's kind of easy to get kind of you know overlooked from being being like there at the Genesis pretty much.
Right.
Yeah,
That's my opinion.
Can I, and this is for the Main Flow and Chappy, I just want your opinion on this because it kind of piggybacking off of what Main Flow just said about getting forgotten. But do you think that it also has something to do with, how can I say, like maybe sort of a promoting and marketing thing, meaning that a lot of times you'll notice that they tend to go with a glamorous story, right? Like you were saying, like it wasn't about the mix CDs and him giving this and that. Like sometimes it's almost like they create a certain story that sounds good and it gets told so many times that then the original story is forgotten. Do you think does that play any part of that in general?
I think definitely. In fact, I know that to be a fact that but there's still no excuse, man. You know what I'm saying?
No, definitely not an excuse. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I'm
but
just
I
saying
do
that it
agree.
just seems that they kind of, like they'll maybe take little bits and pieces, put some story together, and it just sounds
Right. And a lot of people want to today it's about likes. And one thing about likes and followers, one thing that's for sure is all of the guys that I worked with, every artist that I either promoted or I signed still is relevant in hip hop today and still has a job today, including my interns from Matt Life to Pain in the Ass, who you see down with Jay-Z. That was my intern. I sent them to Rockefeller to get that job. You know what I'm saying? And I don't get mentioned for that. He shouts out Jay-Z because it's more popular. It brings on likes. But the artists that I signed, whether it's Mood, whether Jurassic 5, or that I worked from Black Moon or whatever, their fan base got established during that time.
Yo, bro, I didn't know Jurassic was signed before us, man. That makes sense.
Signed them before y'all.
Because when I connected with Tuna one time, he told me that he formed his crew after us, man. After the one
basically
battle.
the same time, right?
Almost the same time, but because y'all had more, remember, y'all got a bigger push. They eventually went on to Interscope. So we didn't work their record the way we had to work y'all's record. You know what I'm saying? My first signing in the industry is a West Coast act. And that my first signing is Jurassic 5. Maybe I told a story, but it's Jurassic 5. My first group, out-of-state group, is Main Flow, High Tech. Attached to High Tech was a guy named Talib Kweli. You know what I'm saying? These are true stories, man. And remember, I was a guy, if you look back at who promotions people are, the reason why you get forgotten is like he just said, is also because, yes, it was the beginning of the story. People's lives do go on and things like that. But the reason why it's very important is not just personal for me. What it is the true stories of hip hop aren't what people think when some of these artists tell it. They're telling it from them wanting to get a little clout too. Very humble people. I saw Big Daddy Kane. Artists that are comfortable in their skin have no problem mentioning the smaller guy who actually allowed you to stand on their shoulders. Like you stood on his shoulders in order to get where you got. I watched Big Daddy Kane do that the other day with Roxanne Shante, born and raised in New York. I didn't know Roxanne put everybody on. Roxanne put everybody on. Whole Juice Crew, everybody. But Big Daddy Kane, you see what he did the other day is he cleared up history. You know what I'm saying? He's an artist who's comfortable where he is. He's multi-platinum. He's been places. He's secure in his life. He has no problem mentioning, yo, Roxanne Shante did that for y'all? Like, who knew that? You know what I'm saying? Did y'all know that? I didn't know that. And I'm from here. I'm from New York. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think that what happens is the opposite as well. When you're an artist who didn't really get no shine, didn't really put in too much work, but you want to be recognized as one of the big boys, you try to throw around names that people can connect to. It's strategy. You know what I'm saying? You might throw around Hove. You might throw around, you know what I'm saying, people that really, they wasn't there at the start of your career. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't there. You not on there. How you understand? You was actually before them. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So now we have artists who definitely they will mention my name. And I have the same issue. DJ Coco Chanel, she was in my office. Look how big she got. She don't never mention my name. She never say, yo, one of the only record labels I was able to hang out in as a female who wanted to be in the game. Chappy gave me that opportunity. Females wasn't hanging at record labels, fellas. You know what I'm saying? This is true stories.
Yeah, Chap, was you there? Hey, not to fast forward, but was you there when Lil Jon came in? What's your story with him? I didn't hear you talk about that last time.
Yeah. Little John and them came in, but they came in on a different level. Remember, Little John and them didn't come in to be marketed and promoted by Blunt. You know what I'm saying? Little John and them came in on a whole different thing. And they still haven't gotten paid till this day, by the way, y'all. Little John said he ain't never seen a check from TBT. You know what I'm saying? Which he's rich enough to not complain about that at this time of his life. You know what I'm saying?
I think Pitbull came through there too, right?
I was already over at big shout out to Trina Be Real. I had gone on to Shabazz Brothers and started shooting a film, which is called Hate the Game. But